Hello and welcome to the United Stand Skype Goldbridge on a Thursday night, in fact. We'll be doing that in a few minutes' time. But hello and welcome. Big stories developed today. I think we needed it as well. Maybe that little gap between the loss against Real Madrid and West Ham at the weekend. I think we did need it. And we started off the day with this odd Danny Rose news coming out basically saying he's not been paid enough and Spurs aren't ambitious enough. Then around lunchtime I went live. Serge Aurier has apparently agreed a 5-year deal with Manchester United pending getting a work permit. We've seen Zlatan playing with a couple of bits of rope. He's defying medical science at the moment. How quick he's coming back from a knee injury is ridiculous. I didn't think it was possible for him to be kicking a ball competitively before November. We're still only in August and he looks like he's getting closer and closer. Unbelievable. Unbelievable if that happens. What else? There's apparently, well, we're back talking about Perisic and Bale on the periphery. If you look at it, there is talk of them two again. Can we dare to believe that one of those will happen? I certainly think if we could get Perisic, that would be fantastic. But let's start off. Fosu-Mensah. I want to say Fosu-Mensah officially at Palace now. He was training with him yesterday. I don't know why that took the time to happen, but Fosu-Mensah is a Palace player now. Fantastic tweet from him if you follow him on Twitter. Really liked that, saying how much he loves Manchester United. You don't get many players going on loan doing that, and I think that shows you what's behind this move. It's really, what an opportunity. Go and play some Premier League football, lad. What Fosu-Mensah needs to do this season, and we will revisit him on the channel throughout the season. In fact, I think if he plays, we'll talk about him on the Sunday show and give it the Fosu 5 minutes or something, because I'm going to watch his games. I'm going to watch as many as I can. What we want from Fosu-Mensah this season is really to play at least 20 Premier League games. Maybe he won't start at the start, but he's got to work his way in. If Fosu-Mensah is as good as I think he is and as good as many of you think he is, there are still some doubters, then Fosu-Mensah at Palace needs to be one of their best players this year. I know he's young. I know he's very young, but he's got 20 games and a good season. Do what Pereira did last year in Granada, and that would be fantastic. I'm so excited. What an opportunity in a Premier League club. Championship would have been okay, but you'd think, well, can he do it in the Premier League? He's got a Premier League club. I'm so excited. I think it's a big opportunity for him. Want to talk about Luke Shaw and Danny Rose swap deal. Some real controversial opinions on this, but just let me remind myself while I do this. We may as well do this now because I want as many people as possible to get involved in this offer that we have for you. Let me get it. Bang, bang. Oh, no, don't want to do that. I've clicked the wrong thing. You know when you click the wrong thing? I clicked the wrong thing. Let's get the phone up. Okay, so what do we want to do? I want to close. I want to go to the... oh, this isn't good. Right. I want to go to the VOLE app. There it is. The VOLE app. The link is in the video description. Now, this is a new app. It's a new social media app. Bit like Twitter, bit like Instagram, but it's far more interactive. It's brand new. It's coming into the UK. There's a lot. We're on it already, and there are a lot of people we follow on Twitter getting onto it already. Our Twitter account is @UnitedStand, all one word. What we're going to do on there, free to download, link in the video description. What we're going to do, primarily, it's going to be like a poll account for us. We're going to do a lot of polls on there, and we've got one up at the moment. Thoughts on Fosu-Mensah going on loan, good or bad? At the moment, 60% of people are saying good, 40% of people are saying bad. What do you think? Let us know in the live comments. I'll certainly come back to those in a minute. But the link's in the video description. We're trying to link with a few sort of free things this year that, you know, can make your football experience even better. We've got the One Football app that we're doing stuff which is great for news. The VOLE Football app is very good if, you know, you're getting a bit fed up of Twitter and you want something a little bit more of a club that's not massive yet, but it's brand new. As I say, we're going to do polls on there and post different content up on there. The great thing about this is we will be promoting it over the next few weeks, but for the very first week, the people at VOLE have offered up a Manchester United shirt with a pick of the name on the back, whatever name you want on the back of whatever Manchester United shirt, home, away, or rubbish grey. Name on the back of it. All you've got to do is download the app in the video description and follow us @UnitedStand on VOLE, and they will pick a winner from there. And if I go back right now, let me go back. We currently have 8 followers. We've literally only downloaded this today. So if you're one of those people who follow us, you're going to have a good chance of winning a United shirt. But good app, get on there. cast your vote in the poll. We're going to start using those polls. In fact, we'll revisit that poll a little later in the show. Download it, link in the video description, free to do it, and make sure you follow us at United Stand, and you will get yourself potentially a Manchester United shirt. So really enjoying it. We've only been on it really today, but it's a small, Twitter's just full, absolutely full, and VOLE, there are people on there who are on Twitter. You'll go, oh god, I know them from Twitter. So it's well worth a look. Give it a go. Right, let's crack on with the show. I'm rhyming. I'm rhyming at the moment. Okay, no more of that. So let's talk about Luke Shaw and Danny Rose. Danny Rose for Luke Shaw. I mean, this is a thing. It's been sort of reported in a few papers tonight, and I don't know whether it's been reported because a lot of you lot have spoken about it when we spoke about it at lunchtime, because I actually do think that certain journalists do watch the United Stand, and obviously they're very welcome, but I think they take a little bit of note. Luke Shaw for Danny Rose then, what are we thoughts? I spoke about it at lunchtime. People will know what my opinion is. I can't change it. I love Luke Shaw, as Liam Benson says. Shaw is still a young defender learning his trade. No way should we be getting rid. Buy Rose and rotate them. Plenty of games this season for both of them. Danny Rose is currently injured. He had a bad knee injury at the end of the season. He's not going to be back fit till September anyway. I don't think we'd get Danny Rose for any less than 50 million, considering they sold Kyle Walker for the same. They're roughly the same age. 27 years of age, Danny Rose. He's not. I thought he was about 24, 25. He's been around a lot longer than you think. 27, currently got a knee injury. Daniel Levy's not going to let him go for any less than 50 million. I would be worried. I actually read a Spurs fan on Twitter at lunchtime saying, let's give them Danny Rose, we'll have Luke Shaw, guarantee within a year's time Luke Shaw will be the best left back in England playing for Spurs, and much better than Danny Rose. And I sort of agree. I think if Luke Shaw can... The question mark over Luke Shaw is his injury record. That is the only question. I know how good Luke Shaw is. I remember him at Southampton. We've seen glimpses at Manchester United. He was very unlucky with that injury, and he struggled a little bit after. But some of the nonsense I've seen from United fans, I mean, I don't like Fellaini as in a Manchester United shirt. Everybody knows that. But I don't go calling him horrible names. I call his footballing talent, but I don't call him... I've seen some things. He's like a big fat Weetabix. You know, I like Luke Shaw. He's actually retweeted a couple of things that the United Stand have done. I'm a big fan of Luke Shaw, and I've always been behind him. And I really think he is England's best left back when he's fit. I think he's fighting to get fit. He may never get fit. He may end up like Phil Jones, always getting injuries because of the follow-on from that bad injury. But we've got to back him and give him a chance. And to swap him for Danny Rose, I'm baffled why we would want to do that. I really am. I think Manchester United and Jose Mourinho really should be getting behind Luke Shaw and giving him an opportunity. And the reality is, we're not at the end of the road with Luke Shaw by any means. If in 6 months' time he's had another couple of injuries, then I think that's it. I think his contract's up at the end of next season, funnily enough. Then we've tried it. But to give up on him now would be, I think, a mistake. Because what if he did go to Spurs and we got Danny Rose and Luke Shaw stayed fit? But Calvin Crowther believes in him. Other people are saying he's poor. Fortune says Danny Rose is the best left back in the Premier League. I've got to be honest. Unless it's somebody who's obviously poor, like Lingard, and you want to swap Lingard for, say, Walcott or Oxlade-Chamberlain, I can see that. But when it's like, let's get rid of Luke Shaw, one of the best young left backs in the country, for Danny Rose, who plays for Spurs, and people are like bigging Danny Rose up and putting Luke Shaw down, I find that odd. As of now, Luke Shaw is a Manchester United player. Danny Rose is a Spurs player. And you got United fans slating Luke Shaw and saying how much they want Danny Rose. I find that really odd. There's no reason to dislike Luke Shaw. He's not played consistently badly. He's been injured. He's not, he's not treated the club badly. He's not acted badly. He's just a young lad who wants to play for Manchester United. And if he plays to his best, then everyone will have to sit down who doesn't like him. I think Luke Shaw deserves at least 6 months. And I will not entertain personally the thought of swapping him for a player who's older and I don't think any better. Of course he's been better for the last 18 months because Luke Shaw's been very injured. But on their day, Luke Shaw's better. And let's not forget, Luke Shaw's not really been on his day for about 2 years when he was like 19. you know, Danny Rose is 27. So Luke Shaw, when he actually gets back, has got growth in his game as well. He is the better left back for me, but he's potentially a far better left back. And picking on him about his weight is just, that's the sort of thing I would expect from a rival, not from Manchester United fans. Sammy Playboy, I've just seen your comment there saying it's going to be 1-1 at the weekend. We've done a democracy, as we always do on the United Stand, and we will do the preview tomorrow night. I was thinking about doing it tonight. The reason we're doing it tomorrow night, and I've listened to a lot of what you lot want to say, is because we did start doing the previews last season on the Friday night. And the reason we did them on a Friday night was because we wanted to make sure that when we did it, we had Mourinho's press conference comments, that it makes it a proper preview then. So don't miss it tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Aish13 loves Luke Shaw. Good. Don't miss it tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. That's going to be our preview show. If you saw the Real Madrid preview, you'll know I'm starting from perfection. I got 11 out of 11 players right in my prediction for the starting lineup against Real Madrid. If I do that again this season, I'm going to start betting again, because I never ever get that close. But let's go for it. Skype Goldbridge should be open. It will open in a minute. So Skype Goldbridge is the word. I'm waiting to take your calls. Do you want to talk about Danny Rose for Luke Shaw? Do you want to talk about Zlatan's return? Do you want to talk about Fosu-Mensah's loan? Do you want to talk about Andreas Pereira's future being very precarious? Do you want to talk about Serge Aurier? Do you want to talk about Bale or Perisic potentially coming to Manchester United again? The floor is yours, and I want you to use it. Use it well. No dad dancing. Use it well. We're still waiting for some calls to come through. Skype can be temperamental. Let's talk about Pereira. First of all, though, because I think that is an interesting one. Does he have a future at Manchester United? Can he produce the goods that Mourinho wants? Does Mourinho want him to produce those goods? I think it's an interesting one, and it's certainly one I'm sure we're going to get some thoughts on now. I'm just waiting to get the first call of the night. Let's try Andy. Andy, can you hear me? Andy, can you hear me? Yep, can hear you, pal. Yeah, I'm good, thanks, pal. What do you want to talk about? Andy, I've just realised that we can't hear you for some reason, so hold on 1 minute, let me just double check. I think I know what the problem is. Oh no, we should be able to hear you. I can't understand why we can't hear you. I can hear you, but nobody else can. I've got everything set up right. Let's have a look. I don't know why that is. Let me have a little look somewhere else. Can you hear me, Andy, still? No audio. I'm as lost as anybody else with this one, because everything is set up exactly how it should be, and for some reason we are not getting any audio, which is really disappointing. Let me just try something else, see if this will help. He was saying something really interesting, Charlie, because I could hear it. But talk again, Andy. Let's see if we can get you back on. Yeah, can do. I don't know. I can hear you, but other people can't. Let's yeah, try again. Let's see if it will work. Andy, there's a load of people saying they can't hear you, and some people are saying they can hear you. So I'm going to have to end the call and try and call you back, or try somebody else. But if I can, I'll get you back on. All right. Sorry about that. Look, if you're messing around on the live comments, it's really rude because these people are calling in and it's their first time on the show. Some people are saying they can't. Look, I know you can hear me. Can you hear Andy? I know telling you can hear me there's no point. I know you can hear me. That's not the problem. Can you hear the person that we're talking to? That's the main thing. Can you hear me or not? Right, Marcus, just ring me up and tell me what's going on, because I can't be doing with the clowns that we get on the comments who think it's really funny to just tell me something that's not happening. So give us a ring, Marcus, and let me know, because I don't actually know what's going on at the moment. I'm going to try another caller. Hello?
Hello?
Hello, Sam, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Good, good. Oh, this is going from bad to worse tonight. This is not how it should be at all. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, Marcus, is that you? What's going on? What's occurring?
Right, we can hear you, but we can't hear the guests at all. Quite a few people are saying is your Skype muted?
No, I've got a problem with it now, because they're actually coming through my computer, and can you?
I mean, I can still hear you, mate. You're not the problem. It's the other end.
Okay. This is the problem with live TV, folks. I don't really know what to do, and it shouldn't even be coming through my computer now. It should be coming through my headphone, so that sort of distorts it straight away. What I might try and do is...
What you should do, Mark, is take the calls and just repeat what they're saying.
No, that's stupid. Why don't you... Well, people can probably hear you, so what did you want to talk about?
Danny Rose. I'd take him over Luke Shaw.
You would take Danny Rose over Luke Shaw?
I would take Danny Rose over Luke Shaw. I think Danny Rose is probably one of the best left backs in the Premier League. I think he's established himself as a England international, and his form is quite consistent compared to Luke Shaw. So yeah, I mean, taking it at that value, I would take it definitely. Jacob Dan, I'm sorry, you're taking one for the teammate. You've just said you can't hear us when I know you can. You've been blocked. If people want to mess around on a live show, that's fine, but you'll just be blocked, and then you'll have to open up a new account, won't you? It is not funny when people are phoning in, trying to, for the first time, and you think it's great to sit there and be a keyboard warrior. You won't be a keyboard warrior. You'll be gone. Bloody technology, says Neville Littlejohns. Yeah, well, this is the problem with live. Live's great. I love live, but it can give you problems. Anyway, Marcus would get rid of Luke Shaw for Danny Rose. Oh, totally disagree with that, but that's what his opinion is all about. What about Fosu-Mensah going to Palace? Good or bad? I think that's good. In terms of his development, if Jose's not going to play him much, or he's not going to get much playing time this season, I think going to Crystal Palace with a manager he knows as well will be fantastic for his development, and hopefully he plays in the CDM role that we all want to see him playing, and hopefully he would excel in that team to do it.
Yeah, okay, and can't hear Mark apparently. Oh. Marcus, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah, loud and clear, mate, fine.
But is that because of the phone, or is the laptop okay?
No, the laptop's fine. I can hear you on the laptop, mate. Perfect.
Okay, right, you've got my permission. Any of the moderators, anybody saying no sound, block them. They're doing my head in. Why do you support United, Mark, says the Red Devil? Why do you think we will win the Premier League?
because of Lukaku and Pogba, will we do well in the Champions League? Odd questions. Champions League really is about the quarter-final for me. And I wonder if that'll help. When I might try Skype again in a minute. Champions League's about getting to the quarterfinals. Do I think we'll win the league because of Lukaku and Pogba? No, I think it needs to be a team effort. Why do I think we'll win the Premier League? Because we've got Jose Mourinho as our manager, I feel. I think that's about it. I mean, Marcus, that's a good point. We talked about it last night. What are your thoughts on the league ahead? Not many Manchester United fans think we can win it. I feel that we do.
Well, I know what you believe we can do based on Jose's second season form. But I agree. I totally agree with what Paul Scholes said the other night after the Super Cup game. The touch of Lukaku is going to be a worry. I think Lindelof is. I know these lads need time to settle into the team and get embedded and know what's around them with their teammates and things like that. But I think for Mourinho, maybe, and Manchester United as a whole, time is not on our side if we want to challenge on all fronts. I think we need people in the team that are fully established, fully aware of what the league is all about, and people that fully are willing to fight for the club tooth and nail and get us back to where we belong.
Thanks to Jared Pesserman. He says he can hear me loud and clear. Thanks for that, pal. And what else have we got? Keep sure he's much better, says DGT. Zlatan, he's an interesting one, Marcus. Do you think Zlatan can get his way back to Manchester United? And do you think that's a good thing to go back? Or do you think we're better off moving on?
Well, I mean, a lot of people don't believe in the getting rid of someone and then getting them back in, do they? I know a few people mentioned about the Pogba scenario when Ferguson got rid of him and then Mourinho's brought him back. Zlatan, I think, coming back from a serious injury like he's had, no matter whether he's a medical marvel or not, I'm still wouldn't be happy with the guy being our number 9 at 36 years of age. I'm sorry, I know that will create debate. I didn't like it last season. He did do well for us. But me personally, I wasn't happy with Manchester United relying on a 35-year-old man to lead our line. I prefer someone much younger, but there's room for development. And I'm looking at the long term. I don't want quick fixes. But, if Mourinho, like I say, time's not on his side, we may have to go for quick fixes in certain positions.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Skype is open now. I'm just going to give it one more try. Marcus is slightly faint because he's on my mobile phone, which I'm holding up here. So he will be quite faint. He's not through the proper system. We've had audio problems. AOL Meanwood says, "Wake up, Muppets. Rose is 10 times the player than Shaw." I mean, that's for me is like saying, "Wake up, Muppets. Harry Kane's 10 times the better player than Lukaku." One, I wouldn't do it because Harry Kane plays for Spurs and Manchester United have got Lukaku. And two, I think Lukaku and Harry Kane are very similar. I don't think it's clear cut in relation to Luke Shaw and Danny Rose. I know you sort of do, Marcus, but I don't think there's massive differences if he can get back to his best.
No, maybe not. But again, is Mourinho prepared to give Luke Shaw the time he needs?
Vincent, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Good. Right, I've got Vincent on as well, Marcus, now. So you're going to sort of be my guinea pig as to whether you can hear Vincent. Vincent, what do you want to talk about?
I just want to talk about a couple of players individually. First of all, as you're talking about Shaw, I don't know, you said before it can't be a United fan that says he's overweight, etc. But you've got to question a professional athlete that can't... every time I see him, he looks like he's squeezing into the United top.
Can you hear him, Marcus?
I can, faintly, yeah.
Faintly? Right, that's...
Faintly, yeah.
Two... Oh, no, people are saying they can hear him, so...
Yeah. It's just probably because I'm on the phone to you, mate, that's all.
All right, that's brilliant. All right, Marcus, I'll speak to you in a bit, pal. Thanks for that.
All right, no worries, thank you. Bye.
Cheers. Mad Marcus there. He'll be on a watch along anyway soon. Right, the floor's yours, Vincent. We've got it up and running. Are you the lad who emailed me?
Yeah.
Good. I do remember.
Yeah, I was just saying about Luke Shaw. You've just got to question a professional athlete that can't stay in shape. I mean, every time I see him in a United shirt, it looks like he's painted it on. He's so overweight. It's unbelievable. And maybe that's adding to his injuries. I don't know. If you're out of condition, you're going to pick up more injuries.
Are you still there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, Luke. I don't like going down that route because it's sort of, we're talking about whether he's fat, but you can't. People can't be blind to the fact that he does carry a bit of timber. I think it's just a genetic thing. My nephew's the same. He's only like 10, but plays football. But he's got quite what I call a big backside, and he's quite bulky. But he does a lot of. He's very fit. He plays a lot of football. It really is just about his build. I don't think Luke Shaw can actually, and I don't like to do this because I prefer to do it talking about women. But if you look at Luke Shaw's bottom, he's got quite a big bottom, and because of that, he's never going to be skinny. He's always going to have that build, if you know what I mean. I don't think it's because he's fat.
Because I'm for him to do well at United, but I don't know. It kind of feels like he's one of those players that's getting away. And another thing I wanted to say was, you've mentioned it a couple of times about Lukaku's first touch and whether it'll improve, and another thing I wanted to say about Rashford, like his finishing really worries me.
Yeah, I got a bit of stick for this the other night because when he ran, I never played up front. I played a sort of midfield and as a sort of sweeper centre back as I got older. But we all know football if we've played it, and you don't need that to play it if you've watched enough of it. And I think that game was just so perfect that Isco 1-on-1 uses his eyes and looks where he's going to put it in the back of the net. Rashford 1-on-1 puts his head down, doesn't look where the keeper is, doesn't look where the goal is, and blasts it, and it goes wide. The reality is, though, we've seen him before. I think he's quite a natural finisher when he gets his head up. It's just he's got to get his head up, and you can't teach that. You cannot teach it because when he puts his head up, he's very good. But it's those split second where instinct kicks in, and if he's not getting his head up, he's going to finish like that. And it's going to be an interesting couple of years with Rashford because if he can do it, it's just whether he can teach himself to do it in that sort of moment where it's like Real Madrid can get us back in the game, and he doesn't get his head up.
Yeah, and even his biggest goal last year against Chelsea, if you watch it really closely, it was kind of like a horrible finish. I mean, it went in, so it doesn't really matter, but...
And he had that 1-on-1 at Chelsea, didn't he? I think it was
in the cup, yeah.
Yeah, he's a great talent, and he's still very young. But I don't necessarily agree with him taking the free kicks. I mean, I know he scored a good one last season, but I don't think he's ready for that. But he's still got a lot of growth and a lot of talent, and he's clearly putting the work in. I mean, how big he's come back this summer just shows how dedicated he is.
Definitely, yeah. And just one last point, I don't want to keep you for ages. On Martial, I mean, I was at the Liverpool game when he scored that goal, and I thought, what have we got here? This is amazing. But I'm just really, again, worried that he's going to get faded out. I mean, he's definitely one of them players that needs, say, 10 or 12 games to get into his rhythm. And if he'd have been afforded the opportunity that Lingard has, I think we'd be looking at a totally different player.
No, I do. I agree with that. I don't get it. And the sad thing is, the first caller, hopefully we'll call back because I'll get him on, unless it was his problem at his end. I've just realised that. But he was basically saying that he's a big Mourinho fan, but what he doesn't like about Mourinho is that Mourinho publicly slating Luke Shaw and Martial last season when they do good things, like in the pre-season, that great bit of skill from Martial. He's asked directly about it. He talks about the team. Fellaini had an okay half an hour the other night. He's asked about it, and he can't shut up about how great Fellaini is. And I think that inconsistency, and I think it would be the same if Lingard had scored. He wouldn't be able to shut up about Lingard. But other players, he just can't say a positive thing about it. And as a manager, I find that a little bit petulant and annoying at times because obviously most fans prefer Martial and Shaw to Fellaini and Lingard.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I don't know, but I think things are looking up anyway this season. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say anyway, Mark.
Cheers, Vincent. Was that your first time on?
Yeah, first time on, yeah.
Really good. Thanks, pal. Please do call in again.
All right, cheers, mate. Thanks, mate.
Bye-bye. Going to take another call because we've obviously had problems tonight, and I want to blast through a few. Dale, can you hear me?
I can, Mark. How are you? You okay?
I'm very good, thanks. If calling from Manchester?
Yeah, I am from Newton Heath, so...
Brilliant. We've had a couple on tonight. That's great. Floor's yours, Dale. What do you want to talk about?
I think so far people have been focusing more on Luke Shaw's physical attributes. And I think it's more to do with Mourinho. He doesn't trust him in a tactical sense, really.
Yeah, he's always had that question mark about him defensively, and we had that game against Watford, didn't we, where, to be honest, I watch a lot of football, I couldn't see what Luke Shaw did wrong, but Mourinho was convinced that it was his fault that we lost that game, whereas I thought it was Rooney's worst ever game for United. But again, as we're saying at the last there, and the first caller said it that nobody could hear, he seems to sort of almost have predetermined thoughts about Martial and Shaw. And as I said last night, I don't know what you feel, but I love Martial. But if he's not going to use him, Mourinho's the manager, just sell him and then do what you do. And then if you get it wrong, we can all say, well, you should never have done it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think with Mourinho, he has his sort of set ways, and if you don't adhere to those ways, I think you're on the periphery, really, of things. But I do think Luke Shaw's a better footballer, and I do think he's got better potential than Rose. But I think maybe Mourinho's looking at the league next year, and he wants quick fixes.
Yeah, I mean that's the sort of thing. I mean, I'm not against Danny Rose. Let me be clear about that. He's a very good left back. He's certainly probably the best left back in England at the moment because Luke Shaw's injured. But I just would prefer that we didn't spend the money on Rose and we kept Luke Shaw. But I do accept it's a risk because can Luke Shaw get back and keep fitness? You know, he had a really bad injury. Danny Rose, like Matic, like Lukaku, it's just Premier League proven. I don't know about you. I don't know what you think we can do in the league this year, but I just feel that Mourinho's sole focus, and I'm happy about it, is going to be the Premier League.
Well, I think so. I think with Lukaku, we have somebody who scores against the lesser teams that we couldn't do last year, and hopefully he could bridge that gap. I do think he's pushing towards, but first of all, conquering England, and then after that, maybe try to conquer Europe in a couple of years' time. But it definitely seems to me that the Premier League's on the agenda for next year.
And I'm going to ask this totally, obviously the United Stands global channel, we love all our fans, but having a local fan on, it's a personal sort of question to be in local this, because Lingard gets a lot of stick in general, but as a local fan, and obviously Lingard's relatively local from Warrington, come through the youth system, what's your thoughts on Lingard, truthfully?
In my mind, United's first team where he wants to be, he doesn't get a look in the first team. I'm happy he's a hard-working squad player at best in my mind. That's my honest, truthful opinion.
Yeah.
I know it's in the debate, but that's how I feel.
Yeah, I've got to agree. I mean, I don't have a problem with him as a squad player. I think he has his uses, and but as a first-team player, it's quite galling when you see him playing every game and people like Martial and Mata on the bench. It just doesn't make any sense. I think Mourinho does seem to favour hard work. I'm sure Mata and Martial would work hard as well. And Zlatan, obviously, he was a fan favourite last season. Is it good that he will come back to United, or do you think it could be a problem? Do you think he'd be happy to play second fiddle to Lukaku? My concern is I don't want to see Zlatan back, Lukaku on the bench, and we've got that slow forward up front playing every week.
Well, if Martial does end up going, that would leave us with Rashford and Lukaku as our recognised strikers. I am of the opinion that Zlatan and Lukaku could probably play up front together. Lukaku's more mobile. They're both big guys, but I think Zlatan's quite static. But I think Lukaku could provide the movement and the sort of bullying we need, and Zlatan could hold the play up and sort of link him through. Yeah,
be very interesting. Is it your first time on the show?
It is, yeah. I've been watching you maybe for about 4 weeks now. I found you on YouTube, and yeah, I've enjoyed every minute of it, to be fair. It's obviously different opinions on here, but it's what it's all about, though, isn't it?
Exactly. I'm glad that you got it. I think when people do, they really start to enjoy it. It's not really about whether I'm right or wrong, or whether anybody else is right or wrong. It's just a forum for people to come on and get involved with. So, very recent as well, which is great. So, thanks for calling in, and please do call in again.
No problem. Pleasure. Speak to you soon.
Cheers, pal.
Yeah, right. I'm really glad we got the Skype up and running, actually, because this is what it's all about, and it would have been disappointing for it not to have worked. Sam Claridge has made a contribution. He said he'd love to see more ambitious play this season. Sick of seeing the same slow play from the LVG era. This is the season for the guys to give it a go. Will he do it? And Sean Cade says, why does Jose Mourinho refuse to compliment Martial? Van Gaal was full of praise for Martial and he was our best player his first season. Jose Mourinho sorted it out. I've got a little bit of a theory actually behind that, and I don't think I've ever mentioned it before, so I do mention the same sort of thing time and time again. But what I wanted to say was Anthony Martial was scouted by Ryan Giggs and Van Gaal bought him. I don't think Mourinho has a lot of time for those sort of for those players that were sort of from the past, if you know what I mean. Avishak, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Mark. How are you?
I'm very good, thanks. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's really long time. It's the first time we are chatting together.
Yeah, I remember you. You might need to just talk up a little bit for me because it's a bit quiet. But yes, I do remember you from a while ago. What was it you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, there are two things I really want to talk about. First of all, the Perisic situation that is going on right now. Inter Milan are rejecting the bids and Mourinho gone quiet. And again, after Bale was not coming to United, after that massacre that happened, we suddenly moved on to Perisic. But is there any chance or any possibility that we can get Sanchez? Because I know that Arsenal are playing the trump card, and what Arsene Wenger is doing, we know all that they are the selling clubs. So is there any possibility in the near future that can happen?
Alexis Sanchez to Manchester United. I don't think so, Avishai. I really don't. I think, as Irish XHD says on the live comments, I still feel that Perisic will happen. But I can't see Alexis Sanchez happening because I think two things would have to happen. One, Arsenal would have to sell him. I don't think they'd want to do that to United. And secondly, I think he'd have to want to come to Manchester United. And I don't think it's like Robin van Persie who did.
But City right now don't want Sanchez. The talks have gone down. Mbappe is definitely moving because either to Real Madrid or to PSG. But I don't see Mbappe to City is happening because Mbappe has his mindset on Real Madrid. But if he really wants to move, PSG is right now the oil money club that can buy any player and can give big amount of incentives and that can attract a kid like Mbappe. The other thing that I really want to talk about, why don't we go and make a statement by signing Mbappe in this summer window?
I think Manchester United would like to sign Mbappe, but I just don't think Mbappe would come to Manchester United when he's being offered potentially Real Madrid or PSG. I think Manchester United's style of play, that is the rumour with Mbappe, he's not impressed with it.
But don't you think the Glazers are not supporting any kind of a deal because we already spent 150 million nearbout, and right now Glazers are cutting down every point of the money and they're showing the world by buying. If Serge Aurier comes in our squad, they will tell that okay, the fourth transfer is done and the window might have closed. Or there's another prospect that I can see in the January transfer window. They might target Griezmann as well because Griezmann will be available. The ban will be abolished from their Atletico Madrid team. So, is there any possibility that they are holding on a winger, such as to get a kind of a player like Griezmann who can fill the spot and get the number 7 shirt and can ignite United to the glory days?
It's breaking up a lot, Avishek, so I'm just going to end the call. I did hear what you said. I will answer it, but I'll just end the call now. Thanks for calling. I've lost him. He was on about can we get Griezmann. I think Griezmann's interesting. A lot of people... If we can get Griezmann, I'd like to get Griezmann is the honest answer, but I'm not 100% sure that it's going to be possible for us, if I'm honest. Somebody else call. Come on, let's get another call on while we can. I tell you what, I've earned my money tonight. Not, I don't get paid for it, but you know what I mean. It's tough doing a live show. Please do drop a like on the video because I think the callers that we've had on, especially the couple of Manchester lads, first time on the show, really, really good calls.
I'm just going to get a call on now. Who have we got? Who have we got? Who's calling in? I don't like Mbappe. He's a half-season wonder, says Quadwo. How can PSG spend 500 million in a single season, says Rude9 the Master. Yep, good point. Griezmann next summer, biggest reason we're signing Ibra, says Jonathan. Yeah, of course, Ibrahimovic, if we did sign him, he would only be here for a year. Of that, there is no doubt. He would not be here for longer than a year. Let's try and get Daniel on. I've had him on before. Daniel, can you hear me?
Sure can, buddy.
How you doing?
Can you hear me? Doing all right. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. What do you want to talk about tonight?
Mark.
Yeah.
All right, you can hear me, Kyle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. First thing I wanted to do was I wanted to shout out fellow United Stand caller, Skyper, and contributor Sophie Richards, who you retweeted her thing the other day about getting her signed up for her team, and I helped her out with that today, and I want to let all you guys know just takes a little bit to help out Sophie, help out a fellow United Stand caller, so give it a shot.
Yeah, we are certainly going to do that as well when I get a minute to do it. But yeah, if you can do that, be great. Plays Football over here in the UK, looking for a bit of sponsorship, and she was trying to call earlier. If she calls, I'll get her back on, and then it gives her a little bit of exposure as well. But yeah, what do you want to talk about, Daniel?
I want to talk a little bit about Luke Shaw.
Okay.
And I like Luke Shaw. I think he's a great player. I think he's absolutely the future. But you got to live in the present. And, the guy's been here 3 years, and he hasn't played over 20 games in a season once. And I know he's had the bad leg break, but, you can't – every year we can't keep saying, the guy had a bad leg break, the guy had a bad leg break. Because eventually, by the time you turn around, he'll be 25, much like Phil Jones. Phil Jones came to the club at 19, I believe, and he can't stay on the field either. They got all the talent in the world. I think Jones does have a lot of talent, just like Shaw does, but you can't stay on the pitch. So,
I mean, Spenny D's just made a contribution, so thanks for that. But he also says, why does Jose Mourinho not let Luke Shaw thrive in the team? You've said there he's not played more than 20 games in the time he's been here. Obviously, I think the last 2 years has pretty much been down to injury. But I'm totally honest, as much as I want Luke Shaw to play well, even when he was fit, Mourinho wasn't necessarily picking him. And there are those doubts about what Mourinho really thinks of him as a player.
Well, yeah, I know that he had a chance to sign him when he was at Chelsea. He kind of turned that down, so he might not be the type of player he's looking for. But I also, too, think that there's a method to Mourinho's madness, as we all know, and I think a lot of that has to do with he doesn't want to be exposed. He doesn't want to put Luke Shaw out there every week to prove that he's the best left back. He doesn't want to start Fosu-Mensah as a center defensive midfielder because he'll show that he could break up the play just as good as, if not better than Matic. He doesn't want to play Pereira every week because he'll know he'll be spraying passes 40, 50 yards. And he doesn't want to do that almost kind of to cut off his nose to spite his face. Because if he does that, then the fans will say, well, this is what we've been telling you for years. If he doesn't do that, you're not going to see these players. So the jury's still going to be out on them. How are you going to pose a good verdict on who's a good player, who's not a good player if they're never on the field to play?
No, I agree. I think that's why we see a lot of Lingard and we see a lot of Fellaini, because it's a bit of stubbornness for Mourinho that he wants to be proved right on those players, and he never will be. They'll have good moments, but I don't think they're consistently good players. But like you just said there, certainly maybe Luke Shaw's, he's got to prove it still. But I think if he did play for Martial for 10 games, he would prove him wrong. I think he would prove him wrong, and then Mourinho would be looking a bit silly.
Right. No. I agree, and I'm very, very worried about Martial because the Man United I grew up watching had pace in it. Flying down the left, and then Ronaldo, and even Nani. I was watching some old videos the other day about Nani and what a player he was. He could score at any time, and he always scored great goals. But they always had flair in the team. There is no flair in this team, bar Pogba, who is a lanky midfielder who does have some speed. And, what is he going to do? Create from 60 yards out? You need a guy who's going to go in there and cut inside 3-4 players and score, which Martial will do. But I'm really fearful, Mark. I think he's going to get phased out of the team, and I worry that he's gone. Not this summer, but soon.
I agree. I think in relation to Martial, I've always thought he'll turn it around. But I said last night, it reminds me this summer of Memphis. And we were saying a year ago, this is the season where it's make or break for Memphis. And he never really got given a chance to make it by Mourinho. And he was gone by the January. I think Martial, if he's given a run, will make it. But I'm not convinced Mourinho's going to give him that opportunity. Much the same as Pereira. Pereira can't even get on the bench in a Super Cup game when we've got 5 players out injured. What chance has he got of getting anywhere near the bench this season? And he's already proved himself on loan.
Yeah, and I agree. But the encouraging thing about Pereira was that he actually brought him with him to Macedonia to potentially be in the squad. If he would have left him out completely, I would have been worried about that. But he did travel with the team, so he was kind of in contention. I don't know. I think it's a plus that Twanzebe is staying because that does mean he's planning on using him somewhat. Or is he going to be another Fosu-Mensah and get, an hour worth of Premier League game time? While we have to suffer watching Jones.
Now, you're going to the game, aren't you, on Sunday? Have I got the right person?
Yeah, I was supposed to go to the game on Sunday, but I have a friendly actually for my team on Saturday, so I got tickets now for February.
Oh, right, okay, no worries. Well, I was going to say enjoy it, but enjoy your game on Saturday instead then, Daniel. You know for a fact you'll be back on again. You've been on a few times, so thanks for calling in, and we'll speak to you again soon.
Mark, I appreciate that very much again. Thank you, pal.
Cheers, pal. Big game on Saturday, of course. Can't really looking forward to, on Sunday. Sorry, I'm looking forward to the Premier League being back. To be honest, I won't watch Match of the Day all season because I'm not. As a kid, I'd watch it religiously no matter what every Saturday night. I don't watch it as much now, but I will watch it on Saturday just because football's back. I love football, and I will watch it on Saturday even though United aren't playing. Yeah, I love it when the football's back, and I'm excited about. The great thing about this moment now is we're all very excited about the season ahead. How long that's going to last? Are we going to be pulling our hair about bad formations, bad style, bad tactics, bad selections? I hope not. I hope we can move on from that because we've had 3 or 4 years of it now. Let's have a look at your super chats. We've got Mad Marcus has made a contribution. And thanks for that, Mad Marcus. He says, we need a Mad Marcus appreciation show. I think everybody appreciates Mad Marcus. He's just very needy. Sean Cade says, why does Jose Mourinho... Oh, we did that one about the Mourinho thing. Jared, we did you. We did that. We did that. We've done all that. That's great. Well, thanks for everybody who's made a super chat contribution. You can do that through the bottom. I am just going to give Sophie a chance because, as Daniel said, Sophie has been on before. Can you hear me, Sophie?
I can hear you, Mark. Hi, you alright?
I'm good, thanks. Good.
I
don't know how long you've been watching the United stand. You've only sort of come on our radar in the last few weeks, but
yeah, I've been watching for about the last, I'd say, 2 months.
2 months, you see, another newbie. I think it's fantastic when we get new people involved because we've been going along for a while now, and we obviously assume that everyone else has been here for that journey with us. But there will be new people. Yeah. There'll be even new people tonight. So, fantastic community, and I think as good as I am in front of the camera, it's really the community behind me that makes it, and we appreciate and realise that pretty soon when we started doing it. So. Very welcome to the community. Now, first of all, Sophie, tell us about this sponsorship thing you're looking for and where people can find you to do it.
Well, firstly, I'd like to say a massive thanks to Dan for obviously contributing. Really helpful. Basically, I play football in the Women's Premier League, and because we don't get paid as female players, we obviously have to try and find people who can obviously help fund that. So it's to basically cover like my subs, my training kit, my travel, because you have to travel all the way around the country. And if I can't get a sponsor, then I basically have to pay to play.
So who do you play for?
I play for Sporting Calcer. I've just moved from Wolverhampton Wanderers, so new team for me this season, but they're playing the same league, finished 3rd last season.
Good. And is that the league below the one with City in it, is it? Or
Two below that one.
2 below that one. So and if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
Me, 25.
25. So you've been playing for a while?
Yeah, I've been playing since I was 8.
Great. Okay. My daughter plays. I wanted to do well. She really enjoys it. She's only 8.
Oh, really?
Okay. So yeah. So how can people get? I mean, we are going to make a contribution. It's just the matter of getting round to it. I'm sure we can certainly sort you out with at least 100 or something like that to get you going. But how do people get in contact with you if they want to sponsor you?
That'd be fantastic. The best way I'd say is through my Twitter. I've turned it off private now so people can DM me, and if people get in touch I can obviously give more details regarding that. Every little helps, literally. I'd be so grateful.
And what's your Twitter, Sophie?
It is at @SophRicho.
SophRicho. I've just been told off on the live comments by Matt Grease because you never ask a woman her age. But it was totally football relevant. It wasn't about anything. You should never ask a woman her age. He's spot on. But it was totally to do with football. So apologies if anybody took that the wrong way. And you. Anyway, okay. So, sorry, I wasn't listening. The Twitter is at
@SophRicho. I'll put it in the live comments in a bit as well.
Okay, at @SophRicho. Okay, so what did you want to ask about Manchester United?
I wanted to start with Danny Rose, really. I think he'd be good for us. I like the idea, especially if we're going to be playing 3-5-2. I think he could be really effective.
No, I'm not against Danny Rose. I think we'll probably sign Danny Rose if it's anything like the summer I've had, because I didn't really want Lukaku, who wasn't my first choice, and I didn't want Matic, who wasn't my first choice. But I do think they will be good players for United. I don't really want Danny Rose, but I would say again, if we signed him, he'd be a good player. I just prefer Luke Shaw because we've already got him and I think he's potentially better than him. But I have to also say that Luke Shaw could come back and break down with injury again. And Danny Rose is a massive step up on Daley Blind and Darmian.
Yeah, well, I really do like Luke Shaw. But my concern is I don't think Mourinho does. And realistically, if he's not in Mourinho's plans, like you said with Martial the other day, you might as well sell him. Because there's no use of him not even getting in the squad at the minute. I know he's not fit. And Danny Rose, to be honest, he has his own injury issues. But I do think if Mourinho signs him, he's obviously going to be in his plans. Whereas Luke Shaw, for me, at the minute, he isn't.
There's somebody just asked a question here, and we've been asked to ask this before. What do you think about Manchester United not having a women's team, and do you think they will in the future?
I'd like to think so. Man City have got a brilliant ladies team, obviously. And I think they're missing a trick, really, by not having one. I'd love United to have a women's team. Do
you know why they don't?
Why?
No, I don't. I don't know. I don't know if anyone does do. I really don't understand why we don't have one.
No idea, to be honest. I mean, it does baffle me, being as though City are so successful with it, but no idea why not.
Yeah, because City, I mean, City are successful. I know they've bought some of the better players. But I just think if Manchester United had a women's team, it would be like the game would have far more interest in it because United would promote it, and they'd probably get the best players and they'd have good facilities, and it would have Manchester United, and I think it would be a massive step forward for women's football. But I don't understand why we don't do it. I'm sure somebody said before there was a reason, but I can't remember what it is, and it does strike me as weird.
Yeah, it is strange, especially. Massive gap in the market now, really, with how it's on the rise now, women's football. I do think United will get a team soon, though.
I hope so. Okay, a couple of people did say what was the Twitter again, so if you want to shout that out, Sophie, and thanks for coming on.
No problem, thanks for having me, and it's at @SophRicho.
So that's at SOPHRICHO. Easy. Okay, thanks for coming on. I'll speak to you again soon.
Thanks for that. Thanks, Matt. Bye.
Bye-bye. So it's at @SophRicho, at Soph with a PH, and Richo, RICHO. That's interesting actually, because Sophie's been on before, and whoever put it in the live comments, it's gone now, but thanks for reminding me to ask about that, because a lot of people have said, why don't you do a show about it? I don't think we'd get a whole show out of it, but it was certainly good. I've been asked this by so many times tonight. Tanisha Roberts, Mark, do you want Di Maria back at Manchester United? You know what to do on the live comments when we mention Di Maria. You know what I want to see. Let's see if anybody can do it. Sebastian United. I liked the Office reference there. I couldn't do it justice. Alex O'Donnell says we haven't got a women's team because our owners are too cheap and do not understand football. You know, we're still in massive debt. We're still in about £400 million debt. But the Glazers still take out 15 million a year. Unbelievable. Adam Holmes says, when will we know about Perisic, Mark, please? Thanks for the contribution, Adam. I know nothing about Perisic. I don't know about Perisic. That is my prediction. I think we'll sign Perisic because it's the player Mourinho wanted. And here we go with the Snakes. They know what to do. Look at it, and so many of you. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of all the different people who have just started to do it. Brilliant. That's what we think of Di Maria. Actions speak louder than words. Perfect. Well done. I applaud you all, kind sirs and women. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant with that. Yeah, I don't want Di Maria back at Manchester United. No chance. No chance. Anyway, I forgot my train of thought there, which is a shame. Right. What did I want to do before I went? Let me have a look. There's too many snakes now. I can't take any more questions. You've ruined it. No, you haven't. I just want to do one thing. That's all I want to do. And I'm going to do it. Right. Just before we go, for those people who've joined us a little bit late, I'm getting the phone up. Do you like that? That's your reason to sign up for VOLE. Link in the video description for VOLE. It's a new app. It's brand new in the UK. It's going to grow, so I'd get on there early if you want to get followers. Because if I could have got on Twitter early, we'd have 300,000 followers instead of 85. We joined it a little bit late. VOLE is going to go off big time. It's sort of like a cross between Twitter and Instagram. We're going to use it on the United Stand at Blue Eagles. That's where Fosu-Mensah is now. And, well, I don't know why we've kept that picture up, but let's go to my page, unfortunately. At United Stand is what we are. What you need to do, if you want to win, we're giving this away at the weekend, I believe. It's a Manchester United top of your choice, home, away, or boring grey, with the name of the player you want on the back. All you've got to do is download the app, which is free in the video description, and follow at United Stand, which is there, as you can see, at United Stand. Follow us. We've had a few people follow us in the hour that we've been going, which is great. And what we're going to be doing on there, because I think you'll really enjoy it anyway. You will find other United accounts that you know from Twitter that are on there. It's a very interactive community. And great, people have actually cast their votes about this. So what we're going to do is we're going to put polls on there. So with our one today, we're going to put one up every morning at about 7:30. And our one today is thoughts on Fosu-Mensah going on loan. Good or bad? 2.1% of people say bad. 97.9% say good. But we've had some comments as well. At Chewy1129 says he needs the games and to get them in the Premiership is huge. Hopefully he gets a decent amount of games under his belt. And at United Sub says better than warming the bench. It should have happened last season. I'm glad that when we promoted this at the start of the show, people have gone on and voted and followed us, because you can win the shirt, but also you've done my job for me. What we're going to do is we're going to put the poll up every day, but then we're also going to go through the comments below. So comment below. There you go. You've got it. You've got it. You're brilliant. You are fantastic. You don't need my help most of the time. Fantastic. Well done. Seriously, well done. Very well done. I seem to have lost my live comments, which I didn't want to use. Yeah, so links in the video description. It's free to do. I believe that VOLE will be a very popular sports social media app over this season, so get on it early. Start trying to get your followers and stuff. Follow us if you want to win the shirt, but download it and don't follow us if you don't want to. But it's a good app, and you can do that. It has been fun tonight, Ryan McSquiggan. I think the shows where it goes wrong can be the most fun, and I think we started off well. We dipped with the no audio. Marcus pulled me back when I was losing my cool, and then I think we got some really great callers on and we've rescued it, and it's been a fantastic show. So make sure you drop a like. We like to hit 1,000 likes when we're doing a Skype show, simply to back all those people that we have who come on the show, some of which were new tonight. We had a Manchester lad, we had Dan on again, we had Avishak from India, we had Sophie at the end talking about Manchester United women's team. Really, really good. We are now approaching the period of time that becomes very important to the United Stand. The season is about to start on Sunday.
the transfers will sort of slip off. I still think there's some transfers to be done. And what will happen is people will sort of not watch as many shows because there's not transfer news. If you love football, if you love United, and if you love the United Stand community, stay with us. We're still going to be doing regular content every night, so please do still get involved. Drop a like on the video, please, for everybody who's been on. That's really important, because they'll come back and then they'll see the likes and they'll feel confident and good about themselves, and we all want to feel good about ourselves. The preview for the West Ham game, I'm looking forward to that tomorrow night. It will be at 8 o'clock. We've made a decision because of you lot, because you'd said please wait till Friday to do the preview. I know a lot of other people do it like Wednesday, Thursday, but they don't know what the team news is. Mourinho's not spoken, so please do it on a Friday night. So we've listened, and we will do it 8 o'clock Friday night tomorrow. We'll know what Mourinho said in the press conference, and I'll also be predicting my 11, which I got 11 out of 11 out of 11 for the Real Madrid game. I'm still going on about it, aren't I? Can I keep it up against West Ham? We'll see. Thanks, everyone. I've really enjoyed it. Fionn Curtin's just downloading VOLE now. Get on with it. Jules King says, misleading. What's misleading about Manchester United open to Danny Rose for Luke Shaw talks? It's in the media, mate. And we've spoken about it. I don't think we should do it. Some of you do. So it was well worth it. It was a great topic point. And there we go. And will Zlatan return? Zlatan is returning from injury. Will he return? Thanks, everybody. Keep supporting the channel, keep supporting those who come on. That's what it's all about. Really, really enjoyed it. Thanks for all the calls. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks to the moderators. And we'll be back with you tomorrow with the transfer show. But I really appreciate that last half an hour. It was difficult when we lost the audio. You're the ones who keep the show going, and with the banter and everything like that. And I really did enjoy it. So thank you. I'll speak to you all very soon.